JR gets so much heat from guys and whatnot. Me personally, I can't give JR a whole lot of heat, me personally, because JR gave me I hear guys talk about their downside when they came in from WCW. And,
you mean their downside guarantee?
Yeah,
on
yeah.
their contracts, right?
Yeah. And a lot of guys was like, man, I hear these stories now. I didn't hear them back then. I hear them now since, the age of the internet. You know what I mean?
You're telling them now.
Social media. You hear these stories about, I'm serious. And they say, man, he offered me this much, he offered me this much. And I remember the downside I got, I was happy as hell. I was like, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? It wasn't as much as I was making in WCW, but it was a whole lot of money, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, I'm good with that, JR. I'm good. JR always treated me fair. He always treated me fair. And the opportunity was, hey, man, you can make, as much as you want to make, but this is your downside. This is not like WCW. I understood that. And it was, like I say, it was a boatload of money for a kid coming from the street. And then I exceeded that downside every year. But it was always a luxury to know that I did have that downside there, and I wasn't going to be worried about anything if anything was to happen.
When JR, I guess for people who don't know, back at that time was head of talent relations, right? So he had like the most unenvious job anybody could have, because he had to deal with all the boys and their contracts and listen to complaints and all that stuff, right?
Yeah, man, he had to hire guys, he had to fire guys. He was that guy. Yeah. And he was definitely not in an envious spot. A lot of guys, didn't like, I understood what position he was in. A friend of mine, Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis, he was in that spot for a long time, man. I'm sure it was something that when he got out of that spot, he was like, man, it was like a weight lifted off of his shoulders, you know what I mean? Because a lot of those guys that he had to hire was his friends, and a lot of those guys that he had to fire was his friends as well. And that's got to be a tough job. JR was literally the first person that told me I need to tell my story and get it out there and let people see who Booker T really was. And I was kind of reluctant to actually put it out there, not knowing if there were some arterial motive. You know what I mean? Because just like Bruce Pritchard, right. when I first met Bruce Pritchard, we was at the airport, and then he got me an upgrade. And I'm like, man, what the hell is he up to? You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your eye on some people. I said that at the roast too about Bruce Pritchard.
You did.
You got to keep your eye on people like that. You know what I mean? So you just never know. You just never know,
And JR, like I said, like him telling you though to tell your story, get it out there. Well, what a brilliant call that was. It was the right call to make, right? I mean, not only did you, I don't know, for you, I'm sure in some ways it was nice to be able to finally just say, hey, this is exactly who I am. Love me or hate me, the underdog's on top, right? And then also it got you this respect from this whole audience. Everyone was like, man, look at what he was able to accomplish in the adversity that he faced. I mean, it kind of, helped you even set up these books, from Prison to Promise and Sentence to Greatness. Like it's a part of your story that I think is really important.
It is, man. It really is. And I wouldn't take it back for anything. I wouldn't take it back for anything, not doing it. But still, it's just like when you're a kid growing up, like my name being Booker, kids call me Booger, people just want to be nasty. People want to be hateful and spiteful. And we just need to, kind of like get rid of that kind of stuff. I remember going to house shows and after I did come out with my story, I remember going to like house shows and people would show up and they would have my mugshot on a poster, you know what I mean? Just to make fun of me. Yeah, but I won at the end of the day, and I'm still winning. But it's people like that, man. We just, I don't know. Hopefully a lesson was learned. Hopefully some young kid, like I say, for me, telling my story, which was my primary objective was to, for some young kid not to fall in my footsteps. or some young kid that are walking in my footsteps to know there is light at the end of the tunnel. If Booker T did it, I could do it too. There's so many people that just looking for hope and looking for that pat on the back and that stamp of approval and someone to say, hey, man, you can do it. And if I had to, throw myself on the sword for that to actually happen, I'm willing to do it. Be that as it may, call it whatever you want. To me, it's just like when I be nice to people, and someone say, it's just like when you and I, you remember when we went to the XFL game and the debut, and the one guy, we was getting ready to leave, and then one guy was sitting there and he goes, hey man, he said, I don't want anything, man, but you didn't have to do that, man. I just want to thank you for being nice to those people, man. And I was like, hey man, I appreciate you. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to people. And it'll take you so far in life. And I think me, being able to laugh every day is why I'm still, looking good. Feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious.